Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I'm here today with a very special Love After Lockup interview for you guys. It's the new season, and you know I have to come through with the interviews because, after all, this is the Love After Lockup interview channel. So, you guys may recognize the couple sitting to my left, Zeruiah. Did I say it right?
You did.
And Troy. Thank you for joining me, guys. How
Thank
are
you.
you? It's so nice to see you.
We are doing so well. I'm so happy.
And Troy, I want to wish you a happy 30th birthday. I understand it's your birthday in a
Thank
couple of days.
thank you.
And you guys are taking a special trip. Do you want to tell the fans where you're going?
We're gonna be in West Palm Beach
Yeah.
for my 30th birthday, and we're going to Miami. We're about to tee up in Florida.
And this is a very special birthday because it's your first birthday since you've been out, and it's the 30th. So it's gonna be lit, right, guys?
Right.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be lit. So my first question for you guys is, whose idea was it to sign up for the show?
I guess I would have to say mine is more so through manifestation. I just used to always like every day, whether I'm working out or whatever I'm doing, brushing my hair, showering, grooming myself, everything was always like, I'm getting ready for the camera. I'm getting ready for the camera. It's like, what cameras are you getting ready for? But I don't know. I just told myself I was getting ready for the camera.
Really, really. Um, so did you hear of the show? Like who heard of the show and who, did the actual signing up for it?
So Troy watched the episode and
Okay.
he was telling me about Derek and Monique. And I was just like, what? This sounds crazy. But for me, like, even though I heard it and it was like, okay, this is cool, I felt like if I were to watch it, it would bring up trauma for me because I was still, experiencing it. Like some people they like to relate, but like to me, it was more like a trigger because it's like, damn, my man not coming home. Like,
Right,
so
right.
I wasn't really, like too intrigued or like interested until I've been on this group called New York Prison Wives and Girlfriends. And I've been on there like since me and Troy have been together for about 5 years. And the casting, like some of the casting people posted the form, like the Google form document.
Right, right.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, first of all, this looks mad shady. Like, is this even real? I told Troy, and I was like, you will not believe who like hit the group up. And he's like, what? He's like, Love After Lockup. And I was like, he was like, what? He's like, I cannot believe this. I was like, yeah, you spoke it into existence because when he says he's been saying like, have the cameras ready, like, you know how like people put up this like euphemisms and things of that nature. So that's what I thought that he was like doing, like little
Right.
quote, something like I didn't literally think he meant like a
That
TV show.
this is what he was talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. Because he's like that. Like he like being in front of the camera. He like all of that. I don't like that. I'm more of a like even my social media previous to all of this, it was very like I didn't post. It was like more like headshots. I'm more of a off, like very professional type of like social media person. So to have all of this, going on with the show, we already knew that we were gonna have to deal with that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do one for my husband, but never was I expecting for us to get casted because I did that last year. I didn't get I did not get a response until this year,
Okay.
3 weeks before he came home. So 3 weeks before he came home, I got the email like, was I still interested? Reapply. I was sitting, I'll never forget, I was literally getting my hair done. 15 minutes later, the casting person was like, we want to put you into casting process. Did the casting process. They submitted it at 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, the network was like, we want that. And I was literally like starting. We filmed maybe 2 days before he came home. And then he came home. So like we were right into it from like,
Right.
it was just like on every week it was something.
Right. It was nonstop. So what were you hoping to get across with your relationship by applying to the show? Like, what was your mission?
So my mission was more so to show like a real couple, like in real life, like
Right.
not fake, not like, oh, I'm gonna put on this persona for TV or the cameras, because how we met is crazy. Like literally how we met is crazy. So I'm like, we always told people that we have to tell our story because it's just so crazy. And people think that there's like a lot of discourse in like our family, like, but I feel like we kind of have like a good blended family. And so like the perception, and like I know we'll talk about it, but the perception is just not like what it really is. So I
Right.
would just want to show that you could go through weird stuff, you could go through crazy things, but you can also have loving and supportive family that support you through that. Because we all have crazy family members that do some stuff that be like side eyes.
Oh,
But
definitely.
you still support them. That's still your family.
Exactly. And you
So I
still
wanted
love
to show.
them.
Mhm.
So, Troy, how was it to finally see yourself on TV since you've been manifesting it this whole time?
Honestly, it's just like I said, it was manifestation, so it just feels normal. Like it don't, like I don't. The average person probably would be like, "Oh my God, I'm on TV." Meanwhile, I'll be sitting there on the phone. She'd be like, "Babe, look, look, look." I'll be sitting there on my phone like, "Oh shit, I didn't even see that." Like I'll be not uninterested, but it's like I actually lived what I'm seeing. So it's like when they cut and edit, it's like, okay, I know it was actually really sad. I know it was done. So like this is for the viewers. Like I
Right.
like it. And then a lot of it is just surreal. It's like, nah, hell no. You ain't just come home and just come on TV. Right now, I've been home 93 days. Like, and the shit that I'm doing, and people can't believe it. So to me, it seems surreal.
How about you, Zeruiah? How was it to see yourself on TV?
I hated it because I didn't want to be on TV. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. It was only because of my husband, because I know that this is something that he really wanted, you know? But like, I just felt like, you know how when things happen at the wrong time? Like, I wanted to be on the show, but it just happened at the wrong time. But I just pushed through. So like now what I'm looking at is more so my growth of like who I was even 90 something days ago. Like people probably look at this and be like, oh, this was years ago, 6 months ago. Like, no, like
You know,
I
they think
progressed
yes,
in
This
9
was
days.
93 days ago.
they
What
think
Right.
we're
it's
seeing on
yesterday.
TV was 93 days ago.
They think it's last week. As they air this stuff out, obviously it's like, okay, it's to keep you all weekly updated and glued to the seats. Meanwhile, we living our lives while people making nasty comments and saying
Right.
we really living our lives and
Right.
enjoying ourselves.
Exactly.
Oh, he's doing
Exactly.
this, he's doing that. See, I was supposed to be, I'm so focused, right? Mentally, I'm so focused. Mind, body, soul, people, places, things. All right. When I was in jail, these are all the things that I told myself who I was, who I am, how I move. I didn't need nobody to project their perception of me. And that's what a lot of people do. They're projecting their perception on because I look good and all this shit. I'm young. Oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. And it's like, nah, I'm really a genuine person. She fire. In real life, she really fire. I ain't just, she wasn't bored, she wasn't desperate. I wasn't desperate. Like
Right.
we both had other people trying to pursue us. She got doctors, lawyers that want to talk to her. Pete told her, oh, I'll fly you out, I'll take care of you and your son. You don't gotta worry about nothing. All type of shit. No, she held on because she wanted to wait for me and see who I was and what I was about, obviously, and vice versa. So it's like the relationship was built genuinely. Like it wasn't no funny shit. Ain't nobody slime, nobody snake, nobody. They think she got married to a bunkie and nah, hell no, y'all tripping.
Yeah, like, but I want to go back to like the original question, which you asked me too, because I feel like a lot of people comment based on like what they see on TV, and they really don't understand that they're talking to a person, right? Like
Yes.
we actors, we aren't like people that took acting classes. Like this is our real life, and what comes with that real issue. So like one of the things I struggle with is PCOS. I have polycystic ovary syndrome. I struggled with that my entire life. So I've always had like fluctuating hormones. My entire life, I've always struggled with like acne, like hyperpigmentation, because I have such high testosterone, right?
Right.
To the point where now I had to like take aggressive measures because a month before Troy came home, I was like, okay, I have not been on birth control. I've been very natural, which was great, amazing. Love what it did to my body. Like I went vegan, but I'm like, if this man come home I'm going to get pregnant. Like, I'm going to instantly get pregnant, and I'm not trying to have that. Like, because I want to have a wedding. I don't want to get like, like be pregnant at my wedding. And no offense to anybody, that's what they did. But like, you want to look good. You want it to be about you, not the baby and you.
Right.
So that's just my personal opinion. So I was like, okay, let me go get the one in the arm, because I'm thinking, okay, that's the one that I've had previously. I've never had any issues. Yo, as soon as they called, I start breaking out. Like, and then I feel like the pressure of casting, the pressure of him coming home, all of the things that you guys are seeing, it just made it worse. Cause stress that makes
Of course. Yeah, girl.
so when people be like commenting, they don't know things like, I had my esthetician license. I went to school because I struggled my entire life with acne, so I could understand what it was. And what I came out with that is it's way more complicated than what people think. People are like, oh, go wash your face, go do this. No, something can trigger your hormones. So that's what happened to me. And I just like broke down with Troy, because I was like, he knows me. Like, he's seen me. He sat in my face for 5 years. Like, he knows what I struggle with. Like, this is not nothing new. So when I told him, he was like, "Bae, like, fuck that shit. You on TV. Like, it doesn't matter. Somebody needs to see your story. Like, somebody needs to see that, they struggle with the same things that you struggle with. And we all have flaws. We all have things that we have to work on." So I just was like, you know what? How you guys are seeing, obviously, we've never seen the show before. So we're seeing it for the first time. And like I said, excited for everyone to see the progression, but I did want to clear that up, because I feel like a lot of people were making nasty comments, and it's like, you making comments on something that's like somebody struggling genetically. Like, I can't help that. And I go to a dermatologist probably more than anybody. So it's like, and my dermatologist struggles with the same thing. I just made a post on Facebook.
A lot of
she got the Nexplanon on, and she's a whole dermatologist, a doctor, and she got severe breakouts. And she was like, that's why I'm on, we utilize like Plan Bs and things of that nature, because I'm scared to get back on another birth control. I don't want to break out like that. So yeah, I wanted to clear that up, because that was a huge comment. That was
so
I'm not gonna respond to that,
thinking that I'm just with some dirty ass woman, or she don't take care of herself, and I'm like, no, she's dealing with something that she can't fucking help. So it's like, if you don't like it, save your fucking comments for yourself. Like, don't nobody care, because I bet you that same I'm saying, you come in your house, I probably got nasty panties, drawers, you sucking the nigga.
Listen, the one thing that I learned about the people that make the nasty comments are the ones that usually live in their mama's basements. They got nothing better to do. Keyboard warriors, miserable with themselves,
Yeah.
So it's not even worth it.
Exactly.
Now, Zeruiah, now that you and Troy are together on a day-to-day basis, name one thing that you love about him the most, and one thing that annoys the fuck out of you.
Okay. What I love about Troy is that he's very like considerate. Like, throughout the day, like, he's always doing stuff. Like, if he'll be like, "Are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Yeah, here comes breakfast." Like, I don't have to really worry too much, and I'm starting to like try to get used to it, because you know how the girls, I'm in my soft girl era, but like, I'm like that workaholic, and now I'm in my soft girl era, and now I'm just like, this feels like I need to do something. But he's just like, "Babe, just relax." He'll get Azael together, like getting him on a routine. So I just love that he's like brought like home, like we were like something, and that like father figure really makes a difference. Like, a lot of people say it doesn't. I'm telling you, that having a man just say something, he don't even have to say a lot of words. I gotta explain, go back and forth with Azael. I don't have to do that. So the fact, just having him and that support, especially, all my mothers, you all gonna understand, having that support is crucial, and it just makes me feel not stressed anymore. So that's what I love. What I can't stand, what annoys the hell out of me, is when Troy will randomly just get quiet. Like, he will just get very silent, and you will think that something's wrong, but nothing's wrong. So I'm trying to get used to that, because he blew up my phone so much in jail. So I'm just like, okay, this is out of character, but this is who he is, like, when he's thinking, processing things. And like, he doesn't have to tell me the trivial things that he would have told me in prison. So like, he doesn't have to tell me what he did. So we lost a lot of that. So it's learning how to communicate now that he's out in a way where it's like, I'm not all on him, because we work together, we live together.
Right, exactly.
So just trying to balance that. But it annoys me because I just feel like, get away if you don't
Yeah.
want to.
Exactly. Like go somewhere else.
Yeah, like, because I feel like I'm doing something, or I'm
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay, Troy, it's your turn. What's one thing that you love about her the most, and what's one thing that annoys the fuck about?
Hey, the ashtray is right here. Anyways, that annoys me. We got a whole list of shit that annoys. But no, nonetheless, though, what I love most about my wife, genuinely, is that growing up, I had a very hard time learning. You understand? I'm a very physical, hands-on. I have to visualize. I got to see shit. Like, I have a hard time learning. You can't just say, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stand there and like, I'm going to tell you, yeah, I get it. But realistically, no. So being as though for whatever reason, when she explains things to me, she overly explains them to me. She breaks things down. She like just overly teaches me everything. Like even if I understand something or her corrections towards me, you know, getting on my ass about shit, is just the constructive criticism that's amazing with her. You know what I'm saying? Like even times where I don't like it, it's like, all right, it is what it is. I take it and roll with it. But constructive criticism and her wits is just like the shit she plants in my brain, enhance the characteristic traits that I have today. Is like, it's amazing. Now, what I can't stand, Lord Jesus, what I can't. When it is time to get dressed, the woman is beautiful, flawlessly. You hear me? And something is wrong with the outfit. Something is gonna be wrong with this outfit. We got to drag it out 5-6 hours before we leave the house. If we going out at 9 o'clock, what time is it? We got to start right now. You hear me? Because if not, bitch, we gonna be in this shit all night.
And my husband would agree with you. It's the same thing with me. We
Right.
take forever to get ready, right?
Woman thing.
But you know what? They'll say that, but they want you to do everything else for them. Stop. Where is this? Where is that?
Thank you.
Hello. So
Thank
we're
you.
now, and it's my time. Everybody rushing me and want to go.
Oh, okay.
Women understand it. Men don't.
So, Troy, on the first episode, it was really clear that you didn't want to be involved with the family church. Is there any room for compromise?
See, look, this is the room for compromise. All right. So, number one, there is no pressure to me being a part of no church, no family church, being no pastor, none of that shit. That shit is not realistic. I'm not even pursuing no shit like that. Now, genuinely, can I get up and talk in front of people? Yes. You'll actually see me do that eventually. But nonetheless, there's no pressure with me being no pastor, no going to no church, none of that. Before I came home, she wasn't going to church, we were just spiritual people. We believe, you know, and they just had me like in the middle of everything. They want me to be religious. They know I'm spiritual, but I don't think psychics are real. And so it's like, where do I really lie at in the middle of all of this? And it's just like, I'm on this side of the fence. Like, I believe, I listen to the spiritual readings and shit. I've been doing that shit for years just as well. You know what I'm saying? But for the looks of the viewers, I don't fuck with no psychics. I don't agree with that shit. That ain't my style. But realistically, I'm a spiritual. Like, I was mind, body, and soul when this girl met me. So I'm, you know, a lot of stuff is what intrigued her about me, is I was so young at the time, and the mindset as to where I was at and where places where I know that I was gonna be when I got out of prison. It's like, damn, how can I see so far into my future? I didn't understand that shit.
Zeruiah, what do you say to those that say you believing in psychics is a direct contradiction to your religion?
I would say number one, I don't practice any religion, right?
Okay.
So I am more spiritual, and I am going through this journey with my husband to figure out where that lies. Like, definitely looking more into my roots. We believe in God. We believe that you know, that we have one God, that we're all connected, and that everyone has their own experiences that they choose. I don't, you know, talk down on whatever people believe. That's their experience that they chose to believe in this lifetime.
Right.
And I believe in love. Like, I feel like that's what connects us. And that if you show love, if you show, you know, love in every action, to me, like, you're walking in your spiritual path. Like, that's what it means. Like, I feel like we've complicated with these social and religious constructs. And I feel like if we simplify it, we'll be better people. Because if we all show love, no matter what, the world will be a better place. It has no, oh, this God and that. No, like, because how I feel God is a spirit. I feel like it's an energy, because when you look at things like, we've watched YouTube videos and different videos on near-death experiences and things of that nature, and people always describe it as some bright light, like some energetic being that you can't even comprehend. So it's like, to me, that sounds like God, something that you can't even physically comprehend.
Right.
Now, growing up, I grew up in a Baptist church, you know, and I have respect for that. I will still go to church, and that's why I don't really like put a name to it, because like, I don't mind going to church. I feel like you can, even if I were to go to another religious temple or thing, you can find a message in anything. So I'm a little bit more that, I was very religious from birth. I was in church all the way up until 18, and I went to
Right.
church 4 or 5 times a week. So now in my 20s, I got the chance and courage to be like, okay, what do I want? Now that I'm 32, it's like, okay, I know what I want. I know what I believe based on my experiences. And I'm willing to explore different, you know, avenues and options. I feel like we only got one life. And I feel like if we just constantly are upset, if you don't like something, then try something else. So that's where I'm at with it. I feel like a lot of people are trying to like put it into some like witchcraft, and it's, I don't practice.
Right.
So a lot of shit what y'all gonna see is just go along with it. Whatever
Yeah,
y'all.
I know. It's
Yeah.
for TV purposes.
Right.
What do your parents think about your huge Troy tattoo?
They didn't really like, my parents don't really care. Like, I know a lot of people want this reaction, but it's like, y'all gotta understand, y'all are getting, and I'm saying the viewers are
Right.
getting to know me. But my parents have known me my entire life. So it's like, you all only get to see a snippet. So something like this Troy tattoo is very trivial to the things that I've done. I would consider myself a very rebellious child when I grew up. So they knew we talked on the phone all the time. So it was more so like, really, Zeruiah? Like, but it wasn't really a bad reaction. I also want to say, I got that tattoo before we got married. A lot of people think
Oh,
after. No, I got it before we got married, because just like he adopted my son, I
right.
wanted to do something to show him that I was dead serious about being with him, and that we was never, ever, ever gonna be apart. So,
And that's a pretty dead serious.
and he was showing everybody, he was like, this girl's crazy. That's when he knew
Yeah.
not to fuck with me. So he
Mhm.
already knows, y'all.
Mm. So, girl, where is your all of the money that you have floating around in your backyard? Can I borrow some of it? Because I need a money bouquet every week. And what do you say to those that think you're crazy for getting Troy all these things before he got home and spending all this money on him?
I would say y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
I tell y'all, bitch, we been rented up a long time
Yeah,
ago.
so
We been had all that shit way before I came home, all that shit. That's why they were so intrigued by the show. It's
right.
like, damn, you got all this shit before this man came home. Yes, we been started shopping. We started with
Yeah,
drawers, socks,
4 years ago.
t-shirts. Like we been.
So if you add up all of that, and then it's like, oh, how much have you spent on him? I include phone calls, because
Yeah.
phone calls are what I spent to talk to him. You add up talking 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 5 years. It's not one time. Maybe, what's the most we've not talked to him? 3 days?
Just little small,
Yeah, like maybe 3 days.
Because might be going through a little
A
financial
outage
hiccup at the
or
time.
yeah, or like an outage in the jail, the phone's not working or something like that.
Right.
But like, that's what it's more so like, think bigger picture of all the money, but then you have to look at how I grew up is like I grew up very well off. Like I didn't grow up in like poverty or the hood or anything. That's why it's so different. So like my Thanksgiving were spent in Jamaica. So like that was like a normal for me. I've always made money. Like I started working when I was 14 years old. I was the youngest employee at a community health center where everybody else was making like 15, 16 hours dollars an hour. That's how much I was making at 14 years old. And then now as an adult, I have my hands in a lot of things. So like the nonprofit is one, but like how I make my money
Which I
is,
want to ask you about next,
yes,
the
how
nonprofit.
how I make my money is I get I do graphic design. So I have gotten so good that I now teach graphic design classes. My
that's nice.
minimum class is $25,000. So, and I do several classes. I can do what else? What websites? So my starting website is $2,500. So it's like when you add all of that up, plus I have a nonprofit, plus I'm a licensed real estate agent, it's gonna amount to my income, like when you you spend more, and it's like it sounds a lot to people that don't have that type of money. So, and then he already had his own money as well, and then he gave me money. So it's like finance is not really an issue with us.
I was in jail for 7 years, right? I don't got nothing to do, nothing but sit down and think. And I'm gonna tell you, there's one thing and one thing only, cause I can't go into detail. I never will. Niggas make more money in jail than niggas do in the streets. Honest to God, truth. Niggas make $250,000 and come home and be set for the rest of their life. So, I mean, we did what we were supposed to do during that time. The ins and outs of it don't matter. I was good my whole entire bed, financially, food. I never missed a meal. I went to bed full every night. I had to go to a point where I had to go put myself on a diet. That picture where they showed me where I was big as hell like that, I was eating and working out crazy. I was going through shit. My dad had just died and shit, so I'm just working out, eating. And that was my way to cope with, that was my way of grieving, was just working out. So now it's like I come home so strong and shit. Now I'm just broken down and got all the excess body fat. But nonetheless, like I was straight my whole bit. I don't care what nobody say. Yes, she did what she was supposed to do and helped me out. One hand washes the other, both hands wash the face. And that's just what it was. I wasn't no fucking leech. I wasn't no coming in with my hand out, begging and asking for shit. Nah, hell no. The first time we exchanged money, I was the one that exchanged the currency. Hey, this for you. Show her that I was real. I didn't
Last year, Troy got me a 2023 Kia Forte. And it's like, I didn't have to worry about nothing. Like, why, if you're, like, that's like your husband constantly showering you with gifts, and then something happens where it's like his birthday and you just like, oh, I don't have nothing for you. No, you gonna show out. Especially it's like this man been gone for 7 years,
Of course. So let's talk about the nonprofit.
So Project Heal is a nonprofit organization that I have listed under Ministries of Victory Temple, which is my parents' 501c3, aside from the church. It's more so like the community outreach. So we decided to go under that instead of like, making a whole nonprofit. So we established that a couple years ago. Troy and I were talking, and I'm just like, what do you need to be successful, when you're out of prison? Because I see all these different programs, but they seem all cheesy. Like it doesn't seem like it's working because everybody's going back to prison. So I'm asking him, what does he need? And he starts telling me, and I start doing more research, and I don't see anything around Syracuse that really like meets the need of like really helping someone with their mental, their body, and their soul, right? So we're like, well, if we don't have that, then we need to create a place, that helps, especially those who are formerly incarcerated, because these guys come out so motivated, and the motivation and the drive goes down because they get discouraged because people always put these things in these blockers. So I wanted to provide a space that also empowers them, but then gives them the motivation so then they can work with us to be mentors. So here comes Project Heal. Heal stands for helping everyone accept love. And we just believe that a lot of times in our community, and especially with those who are formerly incarcerated because of the trauma, they are very untrusting. They don't feel as though that people are really trying to help them. They feel like they don't want to be a burden or a charity case. And sometimes you need to just help people understand that you got to break those walls down, because there's people out here that genuinely want to help. Throughout his incarceration and then even up until now, strangers have been literally the kindest people to us. And that's what I've learned, like throughout this whole process, that, you know, you see other women that have gone through the things that you've gone through, maybe on a visit, and you need something, and they're like, hey girl, here it is. They don't even know me. So I wanted to provide that space for those as well. Troy wants to talk to the kids. So we were like, okay, let's get into the preventative work. We were able to secure a space downtown Syracuse. Troy paid our first month's rent, and there we go. We went off. I was able to work with my dad to get my first grant. My dad's a grant writer, and that's how we were able to fund Project Heal into what we are today. We have a program coordinator. We have a marriage and family therapist. We have a doctor that's also a substance abuse background as well. And then we have the LMSW, LMCW, so we can also prescribe and diagnose as well. So all culturally competent, diverse staff right downtown in Syracuse, across the street from the bus hub. And I mean, it's definitely, when I tell y'all, I know it sounds crazy. Everybody want to say it sounds crazy, but we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't the truth. Manifestation is definitely real. This started off, Troy told me to if I was serious, to write a business plan. Send him the business plan, he would review it, and he was like, I'll do whatever I need to fund it, do whatever, but you got to be serious about it. I met with the mayor of, the deputy mayor of the city of Syracuse. I pitched it. We did a video. You all can actually see the video on projecthealsyracuse.org, where Troy is in prison. And that's the video that I went out to the community organizations to procure the funding. So this all started just us talking on the phone. Troy and I did this. Literally, it just started with me and him and other people, that were incarcerated as well, that gave us ideas. So that's how we started. That's where we are today. And
2 years ago.
Excited.
2 years ago.
Mhm.
2 years.
Yeah. So like I said, niggas been financially
Right.
Do you guys talk to other cast members?
Yeah. You said what?
Do you guys talk to other cast members?
No, we don't talk to other cast members. I follow Letitia on Facebook, but like they really be like, we don't like people to talk to other cast members. I don't know why, but we're willing to
reveal their secrets.
I know, right?
Did to y'all that they probably did to us too.
Are there any misconceptions that you've heard or seen about yourself that you want to clear up?
I feel like the biggest misconception I want to clear up is that I was shady to my baby father, because no, I wasn't. So
Okay.
I'm gonna tell y'all how we met, right? Out the horse's mouth.
Your part of the story.
I'll tell your. You see how you doing me?
What?
Anyway, so I met Troy through my baby father. He was in Auburn Correctional Facility. And my baby father, when he went to prison, it was just like horrible, right? Like I wasn't in a good place with him. He was very abusive. He had a domestic violence charge that I put on him so he could go to jail so that he could stop beating me, literally. Put me on drugs, like told me that it was one thing, it was another. I had to go to rehab. Had some girl in my house with a syringe in the bathtub. Like I'm telling you, real crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anybody in any domestic violence situation knows how hard it is to leave that person, right? And it's not because you don't want to, but because that person is threatening you. I know where your parents live. I know all of that. So when he was in prison, that's the place that we were at. And he was talking about Troy. Like he was like, yeah, it's this guy that like really is telling me I need to eat more healthy because I'm eating bullshit. And he was like, he's crazy, man. And I'm just like, no, you need to listen to him. And I had sent him a book, like a self-development book. He's like, yeah, I gave it to Troy. So like those are like sporadic conversations that he had. But it's like in my mind, you're like, he needs to like talk to this person. Like this seems like a cool guy. I'm not even like in that mindset, but I'm just like, I know who he is. So one day my child's father would call me. Now this is when we're not together at this point. We're legally married, but we're not together because I didn't have any money to at that time to get like a lawyer or anything. So it was just more so like we not together, but we still legally married. And he was like, yeah, can you do a favor for me? And I was like, what? He's like, there's this guy, Troy, that's going to another jail and his family don't be answering like that. And I'm like, what, the phone? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. He was like, well, just like he's gonna call, check in with you, because I know you're gonna always have money on the phone. Like if he calls, answer the phone and talk to him. Literally his words. So I'm like, okay, but I'm like mad at first because I'm like, why the hell are you giving some random guy my number? Why do I have to talk to this person? I don't know who he is. Like, but I'm just like, whatever. So he didn't call me until like a month or so later, and it was like mad random. And I answered the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, like how's your baby father doing?" I was like, "He's fine." Was asking me how I'm doing, and I'm just like, he's stressing me out. He's sending me letters saying that he's like having girls come see him and kiss him, and he's like antagonizing me. Like I don't care. I don't want to be with him. I don't know why he's doing that. And he's just telling me like, well, maybe he going through something, like whatever. So we have like random phone calls, whatever the case may be. I tell my baby father what was going on, and he's just like communicating back and forth, right? About making sure that I'm keeping in touch with him. So eventually I tell my baby father, like, I think I like Troy. Like we starting to talk, like he's more of an understanding person. Like if you want to be a man, like that's the person that you should try to be like.
Right.
And at that time, he was trying to join a gang, so he wasn't even talking to me anymore. The phone calls were less and less, less and less. Like it was more so non-existent. And at this point, we're supposed to be talking for Azael. It don't have nothing to do with us. It's just so that we can have a healthy co-parenting relationship, and so that he could talk to his child. Those phone calls become non-existent. I go out to Rochester, get a job where I'm not really able to talk on the phone like that anyway. That's when kind of like Troy and I start talking more and more. And I'm encouraging him because he's letting his ex situationship like stress him out. Like he's only eating bread. He's not going out. He's like, I'm just like, go see another girl, something. Like, so he tried that. He tried to talk to another woman. He still was just so sad over this girl. His grandmother died. The girl basically was like, fuck you. Like, didn't even want to say anything to him. He's like, I really, really need to talk to you. She tells me, like, make up an excuse. So I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm telling him, like, you don't need to be stressing about this girl not eating because she's not stressing and worried about you, trying to help him and encourage him. So at this point, now we're encouraging each other to get out these toxic ass fucking cycles. And like basically always helping someone, always reaching out, always being available, and you're being used and abused. So he starts telling me what's really going on with my baby father. Like, yo, did you know that he had a baby in Syracuse, blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, when I asked him that, he said he didn't have no baby. So he's telling me things that I've never told him, because at this point, we're not talking about nothing personal. This is the first conversation, anything personal.
Right.
So I know for a fact he's telling me the truth. And he's like, I'm not telling you to try to bash him, but I'm telling you because I don't want to keep encouraging you to be with somebody that really doesn't give a fuck about you. Like he's basically playing you, passing my pictures around the jail, like pictures, like provocative pictures around the jail, like doing mad weird shit. And Troy knows about it. Right. And he knows because he's describing things, because I'm asking him specific questions. So one thing after that, I was just like, okay, there's no reason to even reach out to my baby father or nothing. Like if he wanted to be around my son, he needed to be a better person, like period. That's when our relationship developed and we kind of just fell in love. And for me, people are like, well, why didn't you go be with somebody in the outside world? When you're so used to like just incarceration and that mindset, it's very hard to just go out to the real world. So to me, it was just like, okay, this was an easy transition because I'm always talking to him. And he's not being weird. He's not like, leave your
Right.
baby father. He's not nothing because he knows that we're not together. So he's just being a genuine person. And I fell in love, and I can't help how I fell in love. I was very open, honest, upfront with my child's father. And to this day, like, we're all cool. He talks on the phone with Troy. I just talked to him yesterday. Like, we're all cool. So everybody's up in the air. My parents knew about it. His mom and dad knew about it. Like, everyone knew the situation.
Right.
And so it's just, that's why I said it's provocative how we met, but it was honest. It wasn't
Exactly.
a dishonest situation.
And you guys are all cool in the end, and that's all that matters, right?
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, I want one day, hopefully you all get to see us all talking, because it's like,
Right.
people need to see that everything don't got to be messy, and like, like,
Exactly.
he's cool, he's happy, he's who he's with, I'm happy, I'm who I'm with, we can all be cordial together, and it doesn't have
Exactly.
to be a mess.
What piece of advice would you give to a couple who has one half incarcerated?
Just talking to you.
No,
What
you
advice would
answer.
have? My advice for them would be, if you ain't built for that shit, don't do that shit, man. Seriously. Cause it sound good in the midst of the moment when a person like, oh, I'm gonna hold you down, I'm gonna be there for you. You know what I'm saying? You striving, you doing visits every week, packages, money on the phone. Times get hard. Realistically, life start life and inside of there, outside out here. Like, I done had niggas try to do shit to me at the end of my bed, and I had to, hold myself down. It's like, damn, you going through all of this shit at the end of this. So it's like a lot of shit for the person on the outside is mental incarceration. Like, you really gotta be in tune to be able to deal with that type of shit, because you got to be on point with the phone calls, you got to be on point with the visits, your wardrobe change, because now you got to incarcerate yourself so you could be able to make sure that you getting in this shit with one smooth transition, because you don't want to go back and forth to the car because it takes you so many hours just to get inside of the jail. Incarceration is designed to deteriorate families, to keep you away and discourage you. When you come to that jail, their job is to discourage you to never come back. They don't want you to come back. Why? Because of drugs, weapons, whatever it is that they plant in their minds of incarceration, that they try to stop us from being who we are. They don't like when we come down there with tailored clothes on, looking good. You be thinking, what if this nigga in jail, or is he in the damn streets? So it's like, when people look at it like that, the officers look at it the same way. Fuck no, go back to the dorm and go change. But when I'm walking around the jail, I got tailored pants on, I got my sweatpants on, I'm out in the yard, shirt off. You know what I'm saying? They don't say nothing then. But when it's time to go on a visit, to go see your family, go see real people, they treat you horribly down there. Like, and it all just depends on where you go. Now, all officers are not assholes. All correction officers are not dickheads. Some of them are real genuine people who come to do their job. Some of them let you do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just don't make me pull this pin. Keep everything under control. Just don't make me pull this pin. That's all. They don't want to do their job. They just want to do their 16 hours, whatever the fuck, and go about their business. My advice to people is, if you're not built for that shit, don't do it. Seriously. Because even for, a person that's incarcerated, you could play with somebody on the outside. Had this girl doing all types of shit. She in love. She ripping, running packages, commissary visits, money, doing everything, and come home, get straight played. Now she feel like, damn, I will never, ever deal with nobody incarcerated ever again. So what I tended to do was come home and just flip and just be the exact opposite. I'm really a genuine person. I'm not sleeping with other girls. I'm not doing none of that shit. You can go through my phone. She got all my social medias, but I told her before I came home, these are all the things I want you to have access to. Before I get there, have my shit already logged in your phone, all that shit, because I don't want no issues. I'm not hiding nothing. I don't got no reason to lie. I wasn't like that before I went to jail. I learned a lot from my past situations that I did not want to bring forth in this situation here. I mean, it's just a lot. And then on the outside looking in, females play games with niggas. Don't do that, because now you have a nigga in there, he really love you and really serious. He'll mentally go crazy and lose his mind. Now he in there stabbing niggas, fighting niggas. I done seen dudes literally fuck up their whole entire bid over a girl because she stopped answering the phone, stopped coming to see him, just do mad random shit. Or they pop in and out of their lives. Come in 3 months straight, consistent. He feeling good, feeling himself. He going on visits, and then 6 months he don't hear from her. He's stressed out. He in the box. He done grew his hair, cut his face, all types of weird shit. So it's hard. Incarceration, dealing from the outside in, from the outside, it's not easy at all. None of this shit was easy at all. And I don't want nobody to ever think that this girl just sat here and just did this shit. No, she was on eggshells the whole time. You know how that feel? Can't sleep at night, yearning to want to be with somebody, to touch, to crave, coming to visits. They getting shorter. They teasing us. It's just like, man, it's just a lot, man. Seriously.
And we didn't get no conjugals or nothing.
I ain't never touched this snack until I got home.
Until 93 days ago, right?
93 days, it was the first time I ever touched her. I tried to stick my hand in her pants, but shit, that don't work. That shit up tight and shit. Can't do nothing. So it's like, we didn't try to, sneak and do shit. But like our chances of that was just like, for whatever reason, God just wanted us to wait. And I genuinely believe that he never wanted us to have any type of sexual experience inside of a prison, because it's like, rightfully, y'all doing things the right way. This is not the right way to go about it either. Right. So we had to suffer. We had to push through. We had to go through shit, but it made us and got us to where we are today.
So what's the 5-year plan?
5-year plan shit with these cameras, they didn't fuck everything up. They didn't even gave me a 90-day plan. Nonetheless, I'm home now. I'm striving to, get on my feet financially for myself. I'm not in jail no more. So like certain things it's not realistic to do no more. So like I'm in the real world now. I want to step up. I want to be a husband. I want to take over all the bills. I've been doing the things around the house. I'm just a person that's just protective. I'm loving, I'm caring. I want my wife, my son, my kids, my daughter. I want them to don't ever want me for nothing. My wife, I don't ever want to have to look at another man for nothing. For what? Like, he's there, but he don't exist. I'm really right here in real life. She waited all that time to see if this was really real.
I feel like in the next 5 years, I want us to have our farm. We want to have a farm, and I want to get a garden like that has fresh fruits and vegetables.
Okay. Definitely want an arsenal. I want a fucking built-in bunker where I can go down there and shoot my little gun range. Cause I swear to God, people really be I'm active in real motherfucking life for real. Play with my wife, play with my kids, play with my family.
So that means we have to go down south so that we can be safe.
Yes.
First thing, smoking.
Yes.
That's definitely the next step, is more so, and seeing how we can expand Project Hill into other cities, because now, as I've been kind of building all of the foundation, I'm trying to come up with a format so that it can be utilized in every city. And if it can be pitched right, I mean, we can be successful everywhere, because violence, incarceration, preventative work is needed everywhere. So definitely want to move and expand our reach. Everybody's been telling me I need to write a book. So I think that's on the next step of like my whole life.
That's when they can get the story. You hear me? That shit is in the book.
Because it's just so funny that people are so like, oh my God, y'all haven't seen nothing. Even this season.
This is the tip of the iceberg, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like he hasn't even came out yet. Like, listen, this is the season where you don't want to miss an episode, because you're gonna be like, wait, what?
Like, what?
Look how they teasing y'all with the.
Yeah, I know.
Last night. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm sitting there like, yay, dragging it now.
They're gonna drag it out for at least another episode and a half, I bet. I mean, that's what they're famous for.
Because it really happened. Like, we really went on a high-speed chase. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
That was insane, really? Girl. What the hell?
I never heard of this before, none of that.
Exactly.
Like, why are
nobody
you from the jail?
No, even the parole people never heard of it before. So it was just like, what are you really doing? I told Zakaya, I was like, put my car in sports mode and let's go. And we was out of there. Like, he was not, because my fear was like, if y'all try to do some funny stuff, we're up in the mountains. Like, it's just one left turn, and now we don't know where we at. No gas stations, no stores. So I was glad that the cameras was there, because that was crazy.
I know, that was crazy. So before I let you guys go, do you have a final message for the fans?
I want to say thank you so much to everyone who supported us. I hope that you tune in and that you understand our journey, understand that it's real life, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly is real life. And I hope that, someone can relate that no matter what, I feel as though that together we're, but I was like, together we're better. Like, being separate, especially if you're married, like, I encourage everyone, like, don't let social media, the internet fool you that you need to just break apart. Of course, if it's like a toxic situation, but I believe in like the union of marriage, and I believe that
Yes.
you persevere, you go through, and I'm encouraging everyone to do so. And I hope that everyone loves the show, and definitely follow us on social media. My Instagram is Heal with Z, and we have an Instagram, Troy and Zeruiah. We try to do the Facebook thing, so it'll be Troy and Zeruiah. And yeah.
Okay, cool. So
You want to
it
say,
was
Man, tell people stop being mean in them comments, man. Stop being nasty, man. Y'all know what the fuck people going through, man. And don't try that shit over here. I'm really active in real life. You see me in person, please do not walk up on no line. I'm really I'm
do you
aggressive.
guys get
Yeah.
recognized
I'm
now
really
that
Yeah.
you're on the show?
Yes, we already have in the gas station. Somebody just called me, was texting my number about an episode, like somebody crazy, like going off, and I was like, okay, now I gotta change my number. So
That's
that's crazy
weird.
because they have it. If y'all mad now,
wait till y'all see the rest of this shit.
wait
I know we're only on episode 2, so I could just imagine.
Only episode 2.
Just wait. It's
I
gonna be a
know.
lot of
The
surprises.
network, they fucking love us.
Yeah.
They love us.
Yes.
Stay
Then
tuned,
I
man.
definitely want you guys to come back later on in the season. We're gonna
Yes.
do a recap and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
I just wanted to lock you down early for an interview. It was so nice meeting you
Thank you
guys.
so much for
We
Thank
having
you
appreciate
so
you
us.
so much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun.
And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.